Disclaimer: all acts and processes presented in this video are for roleplay purposes only. Please consult a professional equestrian before working with any equines. Thank you, and please stay safe, guys. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is not the best quality, I will admit, but it's still very exciting. I recently competed in the Ghostly Games hosted by SSC.
I've been told I should go find myself again. You're taking my soul, everything I own, poison in my head.
Before we begin, if you don't know what SSC is, it stands for Star Stable Competitions, and they host various horse shows ranging from English events like Hunter Over Fences and Flat Classes to Reining and Gymkhana, all on North American servers with educated judges and photographers. The one I entered in was the Ghostly Games, which involved classes from a costume contest to a barrel race. I decided to enter Lucky by Design, aka Lady, my 6-year-old quarter horse mare who typically I use as an all-arounder since she's very broke and quiet and gentle. I purchased her several months ago where she was used as a barrel horse mainly, however I think she can excel at any event with training. The day of the show came faster than expected, so I had a lot of preparing to do. For the costume contest, I decided to dress up as Indiana Jones from the movies, and while I admit I've never actually seen the movies, I still liked the idea since it was unique and I didn't think anyone else would dress up as him. The morning of the competition was a very chilly one, and while snow has not yet made its way to Jorvik, the cold fall air is very present, so I slipped on my jacket and headed outside. I had my costume ready in the house hanging. Meanwhile, I had to bathe Lady since she had decided to be oh so kind and roll in the muddy pasture since it rained the night before. Real thrilled about that. The good thing about Lady is that she's super easy to catch even in the mastiff pasture on the west side. All I have to do is call her over and she'll come running right away. After bringing Lady inside the barn, where it was luckily much warmer, I had to get off the mud and dirt so she'd be nice and clean for the show. After all, the costume contest was judged on appearance and creativity, so I wanted Lady to look her best. I decided not to plait her mane so it would be more accurate to the movie with a more rugged look. However, I still brushed through her mane and tail since it had bits of grass and hay in it. Once Lady was all clean and ready to go, I loaded her into the trailer and quickly went inside to fetch my costume and pulled my ponytail down to make my hair appear shorter than it really was. The show was held at Marley's farm with 2 separate arenas, one set up with barrels for the Gymkhana and the other to be used for the pleasure class. The show was pretty big and therefore the arena was pretty crowded. Luckily the horses handled it well and we just had a few spooked horses. I brought Lady to the barn on the south side where it was less crowded, however it'd be a longer walk to the main arenas. I changed into my costume before taking up Lady in my plain saddle, black and white pad, and leg wraps. A simple set, but nicely put together nonetheless. I was relieved when the weather warmed up a bit around noon and I was able to make my way to the arenas. Since this was my first show with SSC, I was quite nervous and not sure what to expect, but I still tried to film some clips. The games were hosted by Alyssa Sleepy Pie, and I was very pleased at how quick and organized everything was. We started with the costume contest, and after walking around the arena, we lined up to be judged individually. There were a lot of people in this class, and so judging took quite a bit in order to make sure everyone was equally viewed and judged. After a while, they had 10 of us step forward for further inspection, and I was very happy when my name was called as one of the top 10. I ended up placing 4th in the class, which I'm not even mad about. I'm actually happy I placed in the top 10 out of the entire class. After the costume contest, we were told to stay in our costumes and we were sent into the big arena for the pleasure class. This class allowed both Western and English, so you were judged on the horse and rider as a team and the horse's suitability to purpose and responsiveness. Lady isn't bred to be a pleasure horse, but she's very responsive and requires little aids and cues. The class was quite large, so keeping a horse's length between each other was a challenge, but everyone did a nice job. The announcer called for the walk, trot, working canter, halt, and reverse, and Lady was wonderful the entire time. Soon we were called to the center of the arena and asked to line up facing the judge. The actual class itself was over pretty quickly, maybe because I was so focused on not breaking gate that I was just lost in my own little world. But luckily, Lady was very pleasant the whole time, maintaining a level headset, and while her jog is fairly quick, the horses aren't judged on speed. Anyway, never in a million years did I expect to hear my name be called in first place. Everyone did so good, and Lady was originally bred for Gymkhana, however perhaps I need to rethink her main discipline. Anyway, the last round of the day was the barrel races. I was 7th out and had just enough time to change out of my slightly itchy costume and into some actual riding chaps and a thick button-up to protect me from the cold air. The judge had the timer ready to go and we were off. Lady was already pretty tired from the long day, so I wasn't too surprised when we didn't place the top 10 in the race. I won't let this one defeat discourage me, especially since I didn't come home empty-handed. Lady was amazing and gave her absolute best as usual, so I can't help but be proud of her accomplishments. I gave her a good pat and lots of treats as a reward, and after placing a hyena in her stall, I hung her first place ribbon for everyone to see her win. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video is kind of short and I do apologize, but I have lots of fun videos planned for the future. For those of you who were at the meet and greet last week, I want to give a shout out to you. Everyone was so nice and I was shocked to see so many of you guys there. So keep an eye out for it if you are interested in watching. Also, thank you to SSC for hosting the show. I will have their Instagram link in the description if you would like to check them out. As always, if you enjoyed, be sure to sound off in the comments, leave a like, and hit that subscribe button. Your guys' support means the world to me, and with that, see you in the next video.
We've been talking for an hour, we just can't find the end. We won't understand each other. I wonder how it feels to fall asleep.